Welcome to Ready, Set, Hunt. Whether you're an aspiring, new, or seasoned hunter, join us as we share our experiences and learn from other hunters around the country.
Welcome back.
We're back, and countdown, Chris, official countdown. How many days are we until we leave for Wyoming 2025?
To be honest, I haven't packed a thing, and I haven't thought much more about it outside of us figuring out when we're leaving.
5 days.
Because I'm so excited for duck hunting.
Duck hunting is 3 days away.
It could be a total dud. It could be a total bomb. There could be no ducks coming into the spread, but I'm still super excited. I love duck hunting.
Me too. And you know what's fun about this is giving me major flashbacks to 2 years ago when we brought our kids out duck hunting for the first time, because we're going back to the same spot, right? And we were excited, but do you remember, Chris? We set our expectations super, super low.
Don't jinx us now.
Well, no, I'm doing the opposite right now. I feel like I'm setting us up for success, because the last time we went out to this spot, this time of year for duck opener, we had very low expectations, and we said that if we even saw some ducks with our kids with us, that would be a win, because that would be exciting for them just to see ducks flying by, right? And then what happened, Chris?
It was wild that we limited out.
We limited out
in a matter of like 60 minutes.
Yep, at a hunt that we had no expectations. And so I'm not saying that's going to happen this time, but I think I learned from that hunt to just keep your expectations low and let the day unfold, and maybe you'll be pleasantly surprised. And our kids had a blast, and they haven't stopped talking about duck hunting since.
Nellie, every single day for the last, I think, 10 days, she has a countdown going. And today she's like, Dad, only 3 days left. And I was like, no, it's actually 4. Or she said that when there was 3 or 4 days. But she's gotten her camo on. She's ran around the house with her shotgun. She saw geese out on the lawn this week. She wanted to run out into the neighborhood with her toy shotgun and practice. That was what she told me. But I told her we can't just run around. She hadn't learned muzzle control yet, quite to the level that she needs to. But I guess that could be expected with a 5-year-old.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I have my 5-year-old, Lars, so he's super excited. He keeps on asking me every day, okay, wait, how many days left now? And then I'm also bringing my middle Callahan, and he's very excited because now it's his first year, because he's now the age that Lars was when Lars got to go out for his first time. Problem, though, is that all the toy shotguns that we had are all broken. And so before Saturday, I have to go out and buy 2 new toy shotguns so that they can have their guns in the duck blind.
I think what we need to do is my kid needs to be to my right. One of your kids needs to be to my left, and then you, and then the other kid to your left. So like they're not together, because when we had them out last time in the boat, it was nonstop. Shh, quiet. Hey, shh, quiet. Stop yelling. Sit still. Sit down. Like it was nonstop.
Well, with where we're set up this time, hopefully we're going to be in some deeper grass, and so hopefully their movements will be a little more concealed. We're not going to be in a boat this time, so hopefully we'll be able to camouflage them a little better. But I'm interested to see how my the new hunter Cal does this year, because Larson can sit still for a longer time. Cal, the attention span just isn't quite as long on that one. So I'm just racking my brain for ways I can keep him entertained if it's slow, but it'll be fun.
We could bring a pop-up blind and throw it up behind us and just chuck some reeds on it.
Stick the kids in the pop-up blind.
If need be. Right? No, I'm
They'd probably love that.
Super excited. I just Texas rigged our geese decoys, because we got out early teal and had them with us to find out I hadn't checked them thoroughly, and I had just purchased them off of Facebook, and they had no weights on them, so that's taken care of now.
It was pretty funny because we were pulling them out of the decoy bag, and I'm like, "Hey, Chris, did you maybe check these at all after you bought them?" And you're like, "Nope." So I'm like, "Well, maybe it's just this one that doesn't have a weight on it." Pull out the next one, no weight. 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 I'm like, "Well, we're not going to be using any of these, so hopefully no geese fly over."
Yep,
But we're prepared now. So yeah, that'll
we
be
are
super
prepared.
fun. Minnesota duck opener. It's hit or miss. Anytime you talk to people that have been hunting for a long time, maybe guys that are in their 40s, 50s, 60s, they're always going to talk about, oh, you should have seen it. You should have seen what it was like 20 years ago. You should have seen what it was like 30 years ago. Like those were the good old days. And I don't know. Obviously, I wasn't hunting back then, so I don't have anything to compare it to. But it's hit or miss, just like any other kind of hunting. We've had great, great duck openers, and we've had some that are super slow. So it's just fun to get out there, and especially bringing the kids with. It's super exciting. You want to hear something savage? My kid said to me yesterday. So I was out of town for work, and usually when I'm up north for work during the fall, I usually try and get out and do some grouse hunting. So I got out 2 days ago to do some grouse hunting, and it was very slow. In my evening hunt, I went to a spot where I traditionally have a lot of success, have a lot of action, at least 10 plus flushes every time I hit this spot in the evening. This time I only had one flush. So that was very unusual. So I didn't get anything. So I came home and Cal goes, "Did you get anything?" And I'm like, "No, not this time." He goes, "You keep on going hunting and you're not getting anything." And then Larson goes, "Yeah, he's just not very good." And I gave him a look and he goes, kind of like, "Oh crap." And he goes, "No, I mean, you're really, really good at hunting." I tried to clean it up. I'm like, "Oh man, that's the thing with kids. They say it how it is,
It's
or at
not
least the way
gonna
it
it's
appears."
not gonna necessarily be the temperature that we'd really like. I'd really love that 50-degree,
Yeah.
55-degree weather,
It'll be in the low 60s probably
but
early in the morning.
we had that early snap that came through, and it was just enough to, like, I think, spook the dove and teal out,
Mhm.
but I was wondering to myself, did it push the migration at all? Because I don't know if it started. It's still been super mild, like, almost
Yeah.
almost summer those last,
Yeah, a week and a half or so, it's still been really warm. I don't think the main part of the migration started. I don't think there's probably many mallards moving south yet. It'll be interesting because historically there's still been some teal around during duck opener, but now that I think they're mostly moved on, it'll be interesting to see you know, what ducks come in, what they comprise of, whether it be mallards and wood ducks like we've usually come to expect, maybe a odd gadwall here and there or something, but we'll just have to see. That's because the teal I think are mostly gone already, is why I'm really trying to temper my expectations because the last time we did limit out, it was mostly teal in our bag. We had a couple
what
mallards,
I
but
wanna know is if anyone's figured out how to cook up coots and mergansers so that they're edible.
well, there's the trick where you soak the meat in milk and apparently it takes away some of the gaminess, but with coots and mergansers, I don't know if you're going to be able to get rid of that muddy flavor.
Dude, I cooked one up last year, and it was the worst thing that has ever touched my palate from a meat
How'd you
standpoint.
cook it though? Like what'd you do to it?
Tried to go rare. I soaked it in some water for a bit, try to get the
The
blood
blood out?
out,
Yeah.
but other than that, just tried to go rare, salted it, and it was terrible. It
Yeah.
tasted it tasted like straight mud that was like rubber tire.
Eugh.
So bad. I it was the one bite and then
Mhm.
the chew, chew,
Just a
chew, and then
oh.
then the pause and you're like, "That's not good." And then it was straight to the garbage and the plate
Oh,
with it was
man,
just
I feel
that
like
bad.
I feel like with coots or mergansers, and again, I haven't tried them, but I feel like with something like that, because they eat so much, like, I don't know, like crustaceans and that kind of stuff, they're gonna have that fishy, muddy flavor to them. I feel like you would need to, like, marinate those for, like, a long time, and then you'd probably need to, yeah, either do it rare or you're slow cooking it for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, if we get if we just get some geese to set in, I'll be really, really happy with the whole.
That's the biggest bang for your buck, that's for sure.
I just enjoy the locked wings and them coming in.
Mhm.
That's so fun. With early and am I correct in my understanding? I should know this. There's early season and late season, but there's a gap in the middle, right?
Yeah, so there's so you mean for, like, ducks specifically?
Well, I'm on the Minnesota website and I was just checking dates and I see
Yeah,
September
there is a
27th
gap,
through October
um
5th, and then it says semicolon October 11th through November 30th.
yeah, so there is a week gap in October, um, that they close down the waterfowl season, or at least ducks, I'm not sure about geese, and I'm not 100% sure why they do that. I think they might do that to kind of protect
They do it for
the
geese
mi
too.
oh, they do?
Yeah, I'm
They
looking at it right now.
maybe they do it to kinda protect the migration so a certain amount of birds get through before they start getting blasted again, but I'm not 100% sure, to be honest. But there's already been 2 weekends of duck hunting that's happened. There was the early teal season, and then the following weekend was, waterfowl youth season, so only youth hunters could hunt that weekend. Um, and then there's a week off, and then it's then it's regular duck opener. They
Yeah, so
have
our
little
combined daily limit can be 6.
mhm.
That's 4 mallards, 2 hens, 3 wood ducks, and then everything else is 2 redheads, canvasback, pintail, black ducks. Everything else is
Anything that's not
6.
list and anything that's not listed, I believe you can take up to 6 of them
See,
to
the
count towards your
coots
total bag limit.
is a bag limit is 15, man.
Yeah, I think coots are not hurting, that's for sure, but I don't know. I feel like you just have yeah, I feel like it's just like anything else, you need to know how to cook them. You know? Like, I feel like coots probably have a very specific way you need to cook them, because I know they eat coots quite a bit down in, like, Louisiana. They call them poodoo. That's the like, the Cajun word for it, and
Is that
they
where they got Star Wars Poodoo? That's for poop. Poodoo,
maybe it is, I don't know.
right? I'm remembering back to my childhood of episode 1 with
Phantom Menace.
yes, with Annie and, Sebulba, right? Sebulba? Is that his name?
Yeah, Sebulba, I think you're right.
Fanta Fudu or Poodoo or whatever.
Oh, man, okay, so that's duck hunting.
But what are we talking so we're touching on duck hunting. I'm super excited. We're gonna have a couple guys come out with us. So we should have I mean,
5 guns,
if
yeah.
it's good, we should have no, it looks like 4 now.
4.
We're dropping the brother-in-law, it sounds like. Uh,
He's sick of getting skunked.
his choice, not mine. His choice. But yeah, that should be a real fun time. And
Mhm.
then we have just
2 days later.
a 2-day hiatus and just got the oil change in the good old pickup. So we'll
See, you
jump
haven't done nothing to prepare, Chris. You got your oil changed.
well, I wonder how many hunting miles are actually on my truck. It's probably close to
10,000 maybe?
oh, way more than that.
Really?
It's been on every
Oh, you I mean, because
hunt.
you're you're counting, like, Minnesota hunts and stuff too.
Yeah, but we went to Nebraska. Oh, we didn't take it to Wyoming. We went in the Suburban
Yep.
to Wyoming.
Mhm.
We went to Montana with it though, right? Yep.
Yep.
We towed and that was a terrible experience. Change your spark plugs. That's a good some
Yeah.
good advice.
Yeah, here's some advice for you guys, for any of you that are traveling to hunt, especially if you're driving out west or, just driving a couple states away. Do your vehicle maintenance before you get out there. I mean, it's the same for anyone going on a road trip, but you really wanna make sure that oil's good, check your tire pressure, make sure you're not leaking air anywhere, and bring a jumper set. I tend to in my truck, I always have a charged battery with jumper cables on it, especially for the colder time of year, so that way I'm not reliant on someone else to jump my truck if I'm not able to get it started for some reason. Just think about all the things. Essentially, especially if you're going to be somewhere where you're not exactly close to civilization, plan for all the things that could possibly go wrong. And if you're going to be hunting in an area where there's potential precipitation in the form of rain or snow, and you're going to be on these dirt roads that turn to slick mud, or you're going to be in an area where you could get a foot of snow overnight, make sure that you have good tire chains so you're able to get out of somewhere if you need to in a hurry. And one other thing, this is a recent
I
event.
just figured out we can hunt sandhill cranes in Wyoming if we wanna go in for it. I gotta figure out if there's a draw or something like that, but I'm looking at this map and it looks like we can do some sandhill crane hunting. I'm like,
Chris, I'm
I'm trying to think
focused
of
on.
I'm thinking what else can we do while we're out
We
there?
don't actually have that much time there, Chris. I mean, we've got 5 full days of hunting, but, one other thing, this is a recent event I wanted to touch on. Super sad thing that happened. Chris, I don't know if you saw anything about this. It's
Yeah,
kind of been all over
the
social
Colorado
media.
kids.
Yeah, a couple of young guys that were elk hunting in Colorado, archery season, and, they were in the San Juan Wilderness down southern Colorado, and sounds like from the details that have been coming out is they had left their truck and they had gone out with a single day pack. I think they were just kind of doing a quick little scout mission to check out an area before they decided they wanted to like commit to the area. And a big storm blew in, and according to the coroner's report, they said that these guys were that the ground near them was struck by lightning and it killed them both instantly. Uh, so
Wow.
be cognizant, especially for you guys that are going to be hunting in the mountains and stuff where weather can change in an instant. Just be keeping an eye on weather forecasts and be prepared for that. And yeah, it's just super sad. It can happen to anyone. It could happen to any of us. And it sounds like these guys weren't necessarily inexperienced hunters. They were young, but they weren't inexperienced. And so just be vigilant and make sure that you're doing everything you can to make sure that you come home, because it's a reality. Not super common, but it does happen. Anyway, Wyoming. We have, between the two of us, we have 4 tags. 3 tags are mine, one is Chris's.
You're being a
And
real
we
jerk right now.
Hey, you know what? That was you 3 years ago when we went to Wyoming for the first time and hunted antelope. You had 3 tags and I had 1. So
It's
roles are
true.
reversed now.
It's true.
And you know what? Someday you'll probably draw a bunch of tags and I'll only have 1, or maybe I'll have none. That's always a possibility too. Kind of, not really. We make sure that we get a tag every year.
We did buy our preference points for Montana here.
Yep. For those of you listening, if you are building preference points and bonus points in Montana, which is one of the few states where you can actually just straight up buy points rather than have to actually apply.
Is this episode coming out tomorrow?
Yes.
Yeah. So they have
Bonus.
they have
So
a
in
couple days.
Montana, your bonus points have to be purchased by September 30th, by 11:59 p.m. on September 30th. So that's coming up in about a week. And then, or what date? Today's 24th. So in 6 days. So if you're building up those bonus points, and remember, those are for limited draw units and limited draw hunts. You got to get those now. They're $25 a species. And then if you are trying to get an elk or mule deer tag as a non-resident in Montana, you have to buy a preference point, or you have to have preference points to enter those draws. And preference points have to be purchased by December 31st. So you've got more time for the preference point. To me, I think that's kind of stupid. Like, why wouldn't you just put them on the same date so you don't have to have 2 dates in mind?
Because, man, life is not simple.
It
People
could
like
be
to just
simple.
make things difficult for the heck of making things difficult.
Either make them both due by September 30th or make them both due by December 31st. It makes no sense to me whatsoever.
Government legislation usually makes no sense.
Yeah. Well,
How many laws are on
anyway.
our books that we don't follow or that people, not we, I'm saying like we as in the world don't follow? It's like thousands and
Yeah.
thousands of laws and they're always broken. So
Yeah.
can't legislate the heart.
Uh, Another deadline coming up for applications and preference points in the state of Wyoming. If you are purchasing preference points for any species, preference points have to be purchased by October 1st. So keep that date in mind. It can be, I know it's a lot of money up front if you're, buying all these preference points, bonus points, and everything. So that's why it is a little bit nice that at least if especially for Montana. Say you're buying essentially all the bonus points you can and a preference point. Preference points $100. Bonus points are $25 each. So you could spread it out that way, so you don't have to drop a good few $100 on September 30th. But anyway, keep those in mind, especially if you're planning ahead, because if you miss, you set yourself back a year, and that is a terrible feeling. Okay, that's all the PSAs. So, Chris, we're going to an area in Wyoming that we've been to before. That in the general area, we have been in that general area multiple times,
Yep.
but the area that we're going to be keying in on most is an area that we hunted 2 years ago. So give me a little bit of a summary recap of our 2023 mule deer season. What maybe some of the key things that we learned from hunting that area, and we're not going to say what area that is, but and then going into 2025, what we can maybe take from those experiences and apply to our hunt this year.
Yeah. So there's rattlesnakes. I almost stepped on one.
It's Wyoming. There's rattlesnakes everywhere.
We've modified our boot setup. I'm wearing more of a sneaker esque. So you're wearing the same things. You found the
Have you
boot.
have you been wearing them around, by the way?
Yep. I've been putting them on here and there. I've been wearing my normal socks with them. So once I put my little bit thicker socks on, they should have a perfect amount of cushion. They haven't been bad by any means. So I'm looking forward to it. They feel more sneakers, but they still give like the sole and kind of how your foot rolls a bit of a boot feel. So
Mhm.
we'll throw our gaiters on over that and rock and roll. But yeah, there's rattlesnakes. They will easily be able to penetrate those new shoes if that
I don't
so
know. They're
happens.
leather. They're leather on the outside.
No, they're not.
Yeah,
Are
they
they?
are. Yes.
That's leather.
Yeah, it's leather. It's nubuck
Well,
leather.
it's so weak. Those things go through. Anyways,
Hmm.
so I'm gonna bring a blowtorch and have that on hand as well. Because if I've learned anything from Indiana Jones, it's fire keeps snakes at bay.
Mm, solid.
Yes, but yeah, we're going back. Super excited. Glassing is the name of the game here. It was super hot last time. I'm thankful that it hopefully is not going to be hot. Can we do a weather check right now while we're on
Sure. I will do weather check while you're talking here.
and see what we're dealing with? But we have two buddies coming out. That should be great as far as just changing it up a little bit. We're rocking the new SIGs as far as our bino setup goes. So we have those auto stabilizing binoculars, and they are fantastic. You truly could just not bring a spotting scope and be okay. You're not going to lose. Peter, to be honest, I don't even know if we need to bring our spotting scope. And I say that because the image being so stable is going to let us see what we need to see.
I might still bring it just because we are hunting a unit that does have antler point restrictions. So if
But
we
I
spot,
ran my vortex last time and I knew they had 3 on each side or
yeah, but if we do spot a mule deer from like a long distance away, I would like to confirm before we spend time and miles going after a potential deer. You know what I mean? Like
oh, I was just going to let
I don't
you I
get
was just
over
going to
there
let you
and
walk and check it out and then I'll just wait. You can signal fire back.
that's a great hunting partner. Yeah, that's awesome. I could
Somebody's got
use
to
the
take care of
exercise.
base camp.
So here, a
My
quick weather
dad's not
check.
coming with us this time. Somebody has to stay at base camp.
Quick weather check here. So it looks like when we arrive, it's going to be for the first 3 days, it's going to be mid 70s. Then it's supposed to drop a little bit into the low to mid 60s and then start slowly climbing back into the very low 70s. So it's not going to be nearly as hot as the last time, but it's not necessarily going to be cool either, which will actually be really pleasant at night because it won't be crazy cold at night. We're probably going to be looking, these to low 50s for nighttime temperatures. But it'll also be windy because it's Wyoming and it's always windy. And so, mid 70s and wind might actually be pretty pleasant.
Are you expecting a 2.5 mile hike this time?
I wouldn't mind going deeper. What we learned in 2023 is that the biggest issue in that area is water.
Well, that's where my mind was because I was thinking if we have a shorter distance in, I'm just gonna heavy pack water because it's just gonna be a hike in, and then
Yeah.
we'd keep that at home base, and I prefer not to pull water from that river for some reasons, but
If
the
you filter
canyons,
it.
I'd be okay.
Yeah, I don't know. If you filter it, I think it should be fine. And if you're
Fair
really
enough.
worried about it, you can drop in those tablets that like kill literally anything.
Yeah, I mean, the hike is so manageable that I'm not super concerned because 'cause we'll have Gus with us,
Yeah,
right?
Gus the
So,
Guzzler. Yeah, well, I'll fill them up in a few days here. We have a little water tank that we named Gus the Guzzler, and he has been on many hunts with us. So we, have some great memories with Gus. So that's why we always refer to
he's always come through.
always.
Are we gonna hit up our, mainstay hotel at some point?
I was thinking on the way out we probably would.
Maybe.
Yeah, we'll see.
We typically we have in the past broken up our hunts at times because man, we've gotten into some crazy storms for
Mhm.
sure in our times out there. And when you are soaking wet, literally soaking wet, sometimes you just got to make a call to go find a dryer and take a shower, especially when
Yep.
you're getting your butt kicked. Montana hasn't been kind to us.
No, Wyoming's been better for us, but, um, what else about, 2023 do you feel that we learned things that we can I mean, every hunt you go on, you learn something, right? You learn something new. What are some things that stand out to you from our experience that we can use to kinda, um, impact our 2025 and maybe have even more success? Even though, I mean, last time we had 4 tags available, we filled 3 of them. So
I
it's not
think what
like
I
it
learned
was
is
whirly.
you don't, especially when we're like returning to where we're going, you don't have to go deep to find something shootable.
True.
Like if you know where animals are laying low and doing their thing, which is
Mhm.
probably what I'm most excited about because I want to get on the perch and, the high points and do some glassing, maybe jump over a ridge or two and just put eyes on in those areas because, something might get scared back up into the higher ground. But to be honest, where we're going in is already a nice topography and we'll be able to for sure see a bunch of deer.
Yeah. This the unit we're hunting in is considered a lower deer density unit, but we still saw plenty of deer the last time we were there. Now, there may have been some weather events, so who knows where deer populations will be at when, this time around, but
We saw a good
I'm
amount of
still
antelope too.
what was that?
We saw a good amount of antelope. Now,
Yeah,
granted, they weren't right in front of us, but we were able to spot a nice handful.
I had a couple times where like when Drew and I went on our water mission to go get water, we were within shooting distance of antelope a couple times. So that's kind of the fun thing too is we've got tags for 2 different species. And so I've got 2 doe antelope tags. And so if we are glassing for mule deer and it's early in the hunt and I spot some antelope not far away, there's a good chance I break off from the group and go to try and fill those tags.
Dude, the antelope burgers that I make with my Texas sugar is they're some of the best burgers I think I've ever
Yeah,
had
I love
on
antelope,
this
man.
planet.
I
So,
don't I've had a few people ask me recently, just people who don't have experience with, a lot of wild game or any for that matter, and then, they know I hunt in different states and stuff, and so they'll ask me, "Oh, is how's mule deer compared to whitetail? Is it any different?" And I'm like, "Well, there's a lot of factors, but yeah, it's a little different, but not significantly." And then they're like, "Well, what about antelope?" I'm like, "Antelope is its own thing, man, and it's my favorite. It is my favorite." And to the people that say that antelope just isn't good, I don't understand that. Like, I don't get
it's as far as I can tell, it's the best burgers I've ever had.
yeah, I have no idea what you're talking about. So,
I think
if
by
you
the
don't
way
like it, you can meet.
uh, I think I will always do all ground for antelope just because
Really?
the burgers are so good. Yeah, just don't do a lot of roasts and steaks. That's just not typically what
Man,
we do.
we like having ground meat too, but we are a steak and roast family. We eat a
Mm.
lot of whole muscle groups and steaks. Like
I
that's
mean,
our jam.
my wife's getting a little bit, and that's probably the big thing. We're just haven't been traditionally a crock pot family.
Sure.
So we're a smoker family, grill family, and then a baking family. The
Mhm.
crock pot is, we had an air fryer for a while, but looking into some of the materials that are used within the air fryers and like the
Yeah.
stuff that's coming off into the meat, and
Some of the non-stick type
it's
stuff.
not good unless you get
Yeah.
like, we haven't replaced it. So we've been primarily, I just throw stuff on my smoker, and I usually enjoy smoking it for a bit and then getting into the cooking of it and
Mhm.
getting a nice smoke ring within the
Yep.
meat. But yeah, I think overall, just from let's get back to real practical for where we're going and going
Yeah.
back. Feel way more confident with where to look and keep our eyes.
We're not going in blind, and that's a
Yep.
huge advantage. I know we've talked about that before, but, like,
Water was a huge issue last time,
mhm,
and we just have a much better gauge on that whole
where to
setup
find
this
it.
time. As far as like we're getting into some big distances, but even at some of those long ones when we were ranging those out, I remember last time I thought it was like, oh, that's 750, 800 yards. It's got to be like 900 yards. And it wasn't. It was like
Mhm.
28 yards or something like that. And
Yeah.
that astonishes me because it's such big landscape.
Mhm.
But then because we've shot consistently, 500 yards working on our shot, and I mean, we can hit probably soda cans for sure at 3 to 400.
Mhm.
I would be very, very confident doing that. But we've shot out to 500, so I just feel super confident about, you know, dropping down prone and taking my time.
Mhm.
And then also there is some whitetail as well as mule deer around the area, so that gives
Yeah.
us also additional opportunity. Not that I want to go out to like Montana to shoot a whitetail, but I've seen my biggest whitetail ever when we went mule deer hunting in Nebraska, and you saw it too. That guy was a monster, and I'd
Yeah,
be
well,
happy to
it's just
take him
nice.
home.
It's nice to at least have the opportunity, especially if it's getting late in the hunt. Maybe we've got a day or 2, or just maybe even, like, last day type of thing, drop down to, more of that creek, river bottom kinda country, and, you know, if, uh, if the opportunity arises to shoot a whitetail, I'm not gonna pass it up. I don't I'd rather fill a tag with the thing that I'm not looking for than go home completely empty-handed, you
Yeah,
know?
yeah,
Especially for us non-resident hunters, we're driving thousands of miles, to do this hunt. It's pretty tough to come home from a big hunt like that empty-handed. It's tough for the family, tough for the wife. It's a lot better for the peace at home when you've had some success. But the thing that stood out to me, so
this will also be my first hunt as a 40-year-old
oh
duck
yeah,
opener here. That is,
yeah,
I've crossed the marker, everyone. I know that you're all, those of you above 40 and those of you below 40 have different thought processes on those ages, but
hmm
it's wild getting here.
yeah, for sure.
I'm not as flexible or can't jump as far as I used to.
Mm,
So
it
I
happens. You doing a
super
lot of
side story.
jumping and when you're hunting?
Well, a super side story. I was out on the playground with my kids and on the swing area, and they usually like to jump on my lap, and I swing with them, and they fight over it. Swing, swing. I decided I wasn't gonna let one of them jump on my lap when I first got out there, and I climbed up on top of the air, like where the swings hang from, this big, big wood beam. And guys, it's not even that high. It's like your normal playground swing. And I got up there and sat on it, and I realized, oh no, I really don't know how to get down. I used to be like, as a 20-year-old or even 30 probably, I just jump right off there and I wouldn't even think twice about it. But something has changed body wise, going, do I really want to put that toll, that concussion on my body from just jumping down? And it took me a good 60 seconds to reposition and try to get off there because I say that along with like packing meat and throwing your pack on and
You're
the
gonna do
shoe
great,
setup.
Chris.
Dude, to be honest, like when we were out in Montana, I was super slow because I had blistered out the back of my heels. It was painful, and
Yeah.
I don't think I realized how much of a toll that took on me.
Oh, yeah, totally.
But
I
yeah,
mean, yeah, that I'll take that over, and I would take muscle soreness and whatnot over, like, torn up heels or torn up feet any day.
yep.
There's nothing that'll ruin a hunt faster than having your feet just being in terrible shape.
So wild. As soon as you like, it's even before the hot spots. I'll be really interested on these new shoes. Granted, we probably won't be walking as much. Like, we'll be hiking in and probably setting up camp and then figuring out like where we're glassing, and
I've been
we might put
e-scouting,
some
looking at
miles, but
some
I'm not as
yeah,
worried.
I've been looking at some ridges to see, where I wanna glass from because so this time of year, to get some more practical stuff, this time of year, mule deer aren't moving around a whole lot. They're mostly active early morning and then evening, and so during the day, we're gonna be glassing into areas that have thicker vegetation, if there is any. Some of these arid areas, man, it's just like there is not a lot of plant life aside from just big flats of sage, which mule deer can hide in that stuff too. You can look at it for hours and not see them. But so really, you want to look at like slope aspects that are going to get the most shade. So what gets the most shade? North facing slopes. So we're going to be trying to focus on north facing slopes. And if you can find a north facing slope that has some juniper trees or something, really keying in on those areas that have thicker vegetation, because that's where those mule deer are going to want to try and hide, So,
I
yeah,
mean,
very glassing
I found
intensive.
2 bucks underneath a tree, like one of the
Hmm.
lone trees out there. It's probably like maybe 6 or 7 trees on the side of this slope, and they were tucked right under one of them.
I mean, that's kind of one of the benefits of hunting an area like this where there isn't a lot of trees is that like, well, the trees that are on the landscape, there's a good chance that they're going to be used for shade.
They get down in those chasms too, because when we hiked down
Yeah.
and we kicked those 2 up, that
Hmm.
was, they must have been sitting 10, 15 yards in front of us.
Well, yeah, and I mean, we when you would get down into those bottoms, there's deer tracks everywhere. So they
Yeah.
use the bottom of those little gullies and stuff like highways. So, and the hard thing is that it can be hard to see down into those bottoms sometimes if there's enough of a enough of a drop off that ridge, like, and they're just like spider veins everywhere. And there could be a deer
They're way
hiding.
more covered in foliage down there than you think they are because the water
Sure. Yeah.
obviously helps the growth, but, like, you get down there and some of that brush can be way over your head, and I'm 6'5".
Yeah. Yeah, things you have to consider, and it's almost if you were to get down to the bottom there, it'd be almost impossible to hunt it. You'd have to essentially try and find like a little area that might hold water and just sit over that water. Because we did find a kind of like a water hole down at the bottom, like one of the last days we were out there, and you look at that small bit of water, and there are just deer tracks completely surrounding it. So that wouldn't be a bad strategy if we were able to find something like that and, just kind of key in on that at least for early mornings and evenings when deer are getting up to drink. So I don't know. I feel much more equipped. I feel way more prepared this year. And I'm just hoping that we are able to find some good contenders. And I'm really hoping I can fill those antelope tags too.
If, it'd be nice to see, like, a coyote and be able to grab a coyote fur or something.
They're out there. They are out there. So, yeah, and then if for some reason we're not seeing the deer that we are hoping for in this area, we have other units we can hunt too because we're hunting a general region, and we've been to some other parts of the region as well. So,
That first place we went that first year with all the sheep,
mhm.
I wouldn't be opposed to hiking back there again.
No, because we found some really nice sheds back there. They're actually sitting on my fireplace mantle right now at my house. And yeah, we found some really nice sheds, and we actually even saw a couple really like decent bucks there as well. So here's the deal.
Yeah, I mean, we hit if it's slow the first 2 to 3 days, like, slow,
Hmm.
I mean, by that time, by Friday, we're probably sitting over the water again, seeing what's down there, and then, if we get into Friday night, into Saturday morning, at that time, like, I'd be willing to drive over and
It's not super
go for
far, so
go for a walk. right?
Yeah, I mean, here's the deal, like,
There's probably not many people hiking back there. We only saw like what do we see? One guy last time.
which area?
The sheep.
A guy and his wife,
Yeah.
they were hiking
So
back there, and they were looking for antelope.
back there,
Yep. Um, but, like, so a lot of these lower point units, yeah, they have lower deer density, and the fact that they're a lower point unit is because they don't typically have the same type of quality that some of the higher point units have, but don't let that stop you from, just getting out there and getting some experience because even these low point units, even these low density deer units can have really, really nice deer. And so, like, yeah, your expectations probably shouldn't be as high as if you were, going to a unit in, say, Western Wyoming, that in a unit where it takes 12 to 13 points to draw a tag. But there are opportunity units that are still going to hold really good animals. And we've seen that. We've seen that when we've been out there. Animals that almost anyone would be happy to take.
I mean, we hiked in that first night last time we're in the area we went to or we're going to.
Yeah.
It was nice.
I mean, that deer, I mean, I don't know for certain because we didn't see it for a super long time or get, like, a really good look at it because it was getting pretty dark, but I would guess that deer probably scored 160, 170,
It was nice.
somewhere in there, and, I mean, that's a great deer, especially for a low point unit, so, anyway, 2025 it's exciting. We leave and yep, just a handful of days. We've got a couple new gear items we'll be trying out this year. Hopefully, we'll have something to report on those and either recommend or advise against. And yeah, man, I am just so excited to get out there. I'm just chomping at the bit,
It's gonna be fun.
chomping at the bit. Anyway, Chris, should
Hey,
we?
which rifle are you taking?
Oh, yeah,
Have you
that's
decided?
a. I have. Yeah, I originally was planning on bringing my 25-06 out, and just after shooting it for a while, I'm not 100% confident in the load that I was originally planning on bringing out there, and so I decided to, switch it up and bring out my trusty 280 Ackley, and, I just have so much confidence in that gun, in that round, and got to shoot it again somewhat recently, and, it's such a great round, and, yeah, so I really was excited about the 25-06, but I just feel like I need a little more time with it, and, yeah, I'll take it out. I'll take it out at some point. Who knows? Maybe the first time I use it on an animal will be during a Minnesota deer season in 2026 once
Maybe.
the, shotgun zones go away. That'd be pretty
Maybe.
fun. That's a perfect round for a whitetail, 25-06, and our shots wouldn't be too crazy far either.
My 7 rem is still tried and true.
Yep, yep. We got out and shot our rifles. I think we talked about this already on the show, but we got out and shot at our rifles during teal season, and I didn't bring my 280 AI, and it was actually that shooting session. I had brought my 25-06. It was that shooting session that made me decide. I just don't know if I feel confident yet or right now in this new gun because it's a new gun for me, new caliber for me. I've never shot 25-06 before. I've definitely put some rounds through that gun, but um, I just have so much trust in that 280 AI, man, and it's just fun. 280 Ackley, like who has that? It's just a
That
fun round.
that's the round that I wanted, when we
You can
first
still
started
have
talking
it,
about
Chris.
rifles.
You can still have it.
Yeah, my 7 rem has been tried and true, so it hasn't let me down yet.
Yep. What bullet are you shooting, Chris? We should talk about that a little bit.
Terminal 155 Federal.
Federal terminal set.
Mhm.
Nice. Is that
Yeah. Shoots well out of my gun. I love the, bonded everything they do with that round, so
Mhm.
I was impressed when it first came out. As I researched it, it was great. I did shoot the Hornady SSTs for a bit.
Oh,
Is
yeah.
it SSTs, right? Yeah.
Yeah, well, there's the ELDX, which is like the precision hunter round, and then there's the SSTs,
Yeah, I think they
which
what is it, a 139 grain?
that's the SSTs.
Yeah, so I had I just haven't bought any more boxes of that, but that shot well out of my gun as well. But no, I have like 20 boxes of the terminal.
So you'll never shoot anything else. Well, and if it shoots well out of your gun and it's good for pretty much anything, you know, why switch?
Yep.
Yeah. I I shot the terminals out of my 280 Ackley and it shot those really well. And then I also tried Accubon long range, the 150 grains, and it shot just a touch better than the terminal ascent. The
User
unfortunate thing,
error.
what?
User error.
Use my air?
No, user error.
User error. Yeah, it could
It's
be.
shot a touch better. It's user error.
Could be. But so it's 5 grains lighter, but overall ballistic performance is a little better because the ballistic coefficient of the bullets is better. Because I think the terminal ascent in the 155 is 0.586, which is still amazing. Like that's so good. But
The
the
deer's going to be
Accubon,
able to tell.
yeah, definitely. But the Accubon long range is 0.61, I believe, and so just a you know little bit better. And although what I will say about the terminal ascent is it is so much easier to find with my ABLRs. I have to order them online. I can't find them in stores. So, um, but I have a few boxes, so we should be good for a long time. And the ABLRs are a little more expensive too. But the nice thing is I can shoot the terminal ascents, and I know they shoot well out of my gun. So if I'm ever in a pinch and for some reason don't have any more Accubon long range or any more Nosler loads, I can always go pick up a box of Terminal Ascent. And they shoot at 100 zero. They shoot almost the exact same point of impact as the
With
Accubons.
with 3 tags, how many rounds you bringing?
Ooh, that's a good question. I'll
Probably
probably
like 35 rounds.
yeah, I'll probably need them. No, I'll probably bring a box, so probably 20 rounds. Not that I'll need that many. I should only need 3, but
What is it? Can I shoot? I can't
maybe
remember.
I'll only bring
Is there some
10. Maybe I'll only bring
compatibility
10 rounds. Why would I need 20?
is there some compatibility in being able to shoot 280 out of a 7 or 7 out of a 280? Did I
No,
ever hear something? That's not
no,
possible.
no.
I thought
You can shoot a 280 Remington out of a 280 Ackley, and then that fire forms the 280 Remington brass into 280 Ackley. But you
hmm,
can't shoot 280 Ackley out of 280 Remington because the chambering or the chamber is different.
got it.
But yeah, you can't shoot like a 7 Rem mag or anything out of a 280 or vice versa because their cartridge design is just completely different. 280 is long action and more slender, whereas the 7 Rem mag is also a long action, but it's fatter and it's belted. It's a belted
Yeah.
cartridge. So
Yeah, I usually have 4 in my gun
mhm,
or 3 in my
3,
gun.
yeah,
And then I have 3 in my bino harness or 4 in my bino harness in one of the
mhm.
pockets. So I usually carry around 7.
Which is all you'd ever need on your person at any one given time. I carry 3 in my magazine. I carry, usually I have 1 or 2 in my bino harness just to be safe, and then I have an ammo wallet that also has a dope card in it, and I carry that in my backpack, but then I also have a dope card in my bino harness, and then I also have a little dope card that goes inside the cap of my scope. So I have in 3 places, so I should never not know my drops and my dial ups and everything. And I made a couple dope cards for you, Chris, and I made you a scope cap card as well.
That's dope.
Nice. I see what you did there.
I was waiting for it. I was preloading and then just let it flew. No, yeah. What are some mistakes that people might make when they get out in the field, especially when shooting? Like they get their dope card, all that, and they
Yep.
have their information they've been practicing. What is some easy mistakes people can make?
Okay. First thing that comes to mind is having a poor rear rest. It depends on if you're shooting prone or if you're shooting, kneeling or sitting off your backpack. There's a lot of variables with taking shots. I would say that especially shooting prone, you need to have a solid rear rest to have a really nice, clean, stable shot. So what I actually do is I have this little rear rest bag that I bring. It's super lightweight. It takes up a little bit of space, but it's nice. It has a buckle, so you can literally just buckle it onto the outside of your pack. But I always have a rear rest with me. So that way, especially if I'm taking a really long shot, like let's just say 400 plus, that I know I have a nice stable rest where I can just relax and make sure I'm doing everything else about the shot correctly and not having to think about trying to stabilize the back or the back of my stock with a hand or whatever else people might use. So I actually have a dedicated piece of gear for that rear rest. Something else I think about is you need to have like a shot process. Um, for us, typically the way it goes is range. Once you have your range, set your parallax. That's a big one, especially for longer shots. You need to make sure you adjust your parallax. Then you can dial. And then, am I missing anything else? Safety, and then squeeze.
Yeah, I mean, we recheck the distance.
Yep.
I mean,
Re-verify.
we usually have one person on glass and the other person on their rifle. So
Mhm.
person on the glass is supposed to double, triple check the scope set up on the rifle, and the shooter just has to confirm that, and they just need to be focusing on their breathing because especially
Mhm.
when you get out to distance.
That can impact it. And I
Yep.
mean, other thing you gotta pay attention to obviously is wind. If you have a crosswind, have a rough idea of what your holdovers might need to be for wind. We typically, when I build out dope cards, I just for wind drift, I have it set at 10 miles per hour because even if the wind is significantly lower than that, like 5 miles per hour, you're not going to be too terribly outside the ballpark. But if you're at 15, which is not uncommon, again, you're not going to be too far out of the ballpark for your average wind hold. But obviously, in perfect conditions, you don't really need to worry about wind drift. But in general, I set ours when I do our dope cards. I set it at 10 miles per hour, so that gives you a pretty good idea, rough estimate. Because if you're shooting it in like 25, 30 mile per hour winds, I mean, you probably shouldn't be shooting at a distance where that's gonna you should be shooting at a shorter distance unless you're extremely experienced. But even then, wind speed can be so variable, and unless you're using like a kestrel device and you know exactly what the wind speed is, that might be the wind speed where you're shooting from, but that might not be what the wind speed is at the animal or in the canyon between you and the animal. And so, like, those are things you need to practice and just be honest with yourself and limit yourself to shots that you can make like reasonably. Yeah. Those are some of the big things that come to mind.
Don't lay on cactus.
Unless you absolutely have to. But yeah, check your surroundings before you lay down.
Peter decided to lay down on some cacti, not just a few, a great many cacti in order to get a shot off on an antelope, and we were successful. But
Yeah. It was worth it, but it hurt, and I paid for it for the next couple days as kept on finding more cactus spines in my legs and in my stomach. Another thing,
good story now.
it is a good story. I look fondly back on that now, but another thing would be don't rush your shot. There's going to be situations obviously where you don't have a ton of time to get set up and take a shot, but if you are set up and that the animal is just feeding, is unaware that you're there, there's no rush. Like, make sure you're doing everything right. And once you get that animal in your reticle, and even if you think you're ready to take the shot, just wait a little bit longer and really focus on it. Make sure your breathing's good. Make sure, did I dial correctly? Double check your dial. If you're dialing, check your holdovers, like check your parallax. Just take your time and make sure you're doing it the right way because there's nothing worse than a poor hit. Well, there's nothing worse than a poor hit. A close second is a complete miss, especially if you've worked so hard to get within range of the animal you're hunting. So if you've got the time, there's no rush. No rush. Would you agree with that, Chris?
Yep. I can't remember. Do we wear? I can't remember. Was it just a hat, an orange blaze orange hat, enough in Wyoming?
In Wyoming, you only need to have one article of blaze orange clothing above the waist. So you can either wear a vest or you can wear an orange hat. Most people just wear the orange hat. That's what I'll be doing. I'll actually be wearing this hat. Repping Exo Mountain Gear, I believe the best backpack on the market. But that's just me.
It's not a belief, that's truth.
Preach it. Yeah, check your local regs before you go out. Figure out what your blaze orange requirement is if you're hunting a rifle season. If you're archery, you don't need to worry about that. Unless you're archery hunting during a rifle season, then you too also need to wear orange.
Also, guys, I don't even know how many people are listening to this, but if you're that guy that's gonna park off like an interstate, it's not legal.
Yes, know that you can
Don't
park off.
do that because, like, here's another thing. When we're going into where we're going, we have guys crossing private property lines last time to get in to where we were, and
Yep, in side by sides
we
and
hiked the tough go through public and to get back where we were, and we have guys getting yelled at by ranchers, and you just don't be that guy. Like,
yep,
don't
do the
do
right
it.
thing.
It ruins it for everybody, and it just makes people pissed. So
Yep.
just don't do it.
It was pretty demoralizing to be 3, almost 4 miles back in, and then here comes these dudes on a side by side. And here's the deal. We studied those maps so intently and looked at every possible access point. And in this area, there is nowhere that you can access with a side by side or with an off-road vehicle. There is not a single spot. And so when we see these guys rolling up on their side by side, and we chatted them up for a little bit, and we were talking to them, asked them, "Hey, how'd you get in here? Where did you access?" "Oh, we went through some private land. Yeah, we got yelled at by the rancher." Like, that's not cool,
Like,
guys.
you shouldn't be. That admission alone should like get you banned from going into draws and lotteries and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah, and
it's
if for whatever reason that
somebody
rancher
else's
didn't pursue,
ranch land.
trespassing charges, I
Yeah.
don't know. And I mean, I'm not like I don't know. I'm very pro public lands. I'm pro people being able to access those lands, but if there is legal access, if it's not being blocked by, private landowners, if there is legal access to an area, take the legal access. Don't take shortcuts. Like,
Called common decency and character.
yes,
You
it made
either
me
have it or you
so.
don't. And if you don't be don't be surprised if you get your butt clipped
Mhm.
by a game warden and get your rifle taken or something crazy like that, because it's not cool. You're gonna get tickets.
Yep. And it's going to cost you even more money than it already costs you just to hunt out there. And all the guys that we ran into that did all the trespassing, I hate to say it, they were non-residents. And people wonder why the residents of these western states, whether it be Wyoming, Montana, Colorado, Utah, whatever, people wonder why these residents hate non-resident hunters. We're doing it to ourselves, guys. So, like, make sure you're doing things by the book. Make sure you're doing things the right way. I mean, that's not the only reason that they dislike non-residents. They just don't like non-residents hunting the animals in their state and, crowding public lands and stuff. Like, I get it, but at least do yourself a favor and don't paint yourself in a bad light to people that already don't super love that you're there. Yeah, we can get off our soapbox now, but that was something we experienced when we were out there, is just
This is not a
inconsiderate
soapbox.
the inconsiderate behavior of some of the people we ran into, and it's just, yeah, live with a higher code, people. Like, seriously. Let's see. Anything else, Chris? I feel like we fairly covered it. I think we'll have a recap episode when we get back. There will be one more episode before that recap, because there'll be an episode that comes out while we're actually out hunting. So in 2 weeks there'll probably be a recap episode to talk about our experience and whatnot. But anything else we should touch on, Chris?
I don't think so.
All right. Well, thank you for listening. I hope you guys are having an excellent hunting season so far. Hope you filled some tags, filled some bag limits. If not, it's okay. There's still plenty of time. Drop down below in the comments maybe what you're going to be hunting in the next couple weeks. Let us know where you're going, what you'll be doing, and tell us what you're most excited for. Until next time, thanks for listening, guys. Wish us luck. We're wishing you luck, and happy hunting.
Peace.